Alright, let's see what we got here. Also need to see what my mic sounds like. Alright, let's see what we got here. Does that sound decent? I need to see what my mic sounds like. Actually, the mic doesn't sound too bad. I feel like it could be a little bit closer, maybe? Possibly? Alright, let's see what we got here. Does that sound decent? I need to see what my mic sounds like. Actually, the mic doesn't sound too bad. I feel like it could be a little bit closer, maybe? Yeah, that's cool. Straight. That's alright, that's alright. I need to pop out chat. Cool, 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 cool. Uh-huh. Time do we start at 8:05? There it is. We're not dropping frames, everything's smooth. Everything's smooth. Happy holidays, Zakaria? 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 We'll give it a minute. Let some people trickle in. I needed to go through some comments from the last video. Let's get through this nonsense here. Straight. Oh, it's because I have the wrong thing selected. That would help, huh? Get rid of that and go to... There we go. Cool. We'll watch the little recap video. Give us something to chat about. I'm pretty sure this is going to get us copyrighted though. The song. Even though it's orchestral, that's kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. We haven't live streamed in a long time either. I mean, I don't take Morena that serious either. Like, I get what she's able to do and the abilities and all that. But I feel like if anybody that was about any type of life, just wanted to just get rid of her, they could, with like little to no effort, you know? In my opinion. Let me actually get shit notepad out here. It's easy to write notepads things here too. Cool. We should be able to capture no, that's not it. That's not it. Window capture maybe.
This is Roberto.
Hey there.
Roberto is an over-the-road
Oh,
trader
hush,
who takes
Roberto.
his business very seriously.
Sure do.
Roberto traded up to serious commercial insurance from Geico, all for seriously low
Cool,
rates.
cool,
Hey,
cool.
this is a Geico ad. Is there gonna...
And you guys can see that, right? I think you guys should be able to see that. Cool, alright. So we'll be able to put up questions there too at the same time. I haven't listened to Hunter x Hunter themes in so long. Alright, we'll give it like 1 or 2 more minutes and let's just dive on into it. Dive on into it. Roberto from Monster. What's going on? Let me make sure we have these pronounced right. Zakaria, Connoisseur, Yadi, Rises. Honestly, I feel like, do you guys think if, let's say Tagashi comes out January 1, and he's like everything he's gone over, he'll release a 1-hour special of anything that's been post anime and on. So, you know, starting with Hisoka and Crollo up to where we just ended with the Halkenberg, etc. The one arc that fans would like unanimously vote on would be Crollo Hisoka fight, no? Clearly, like it wouldn't. Is there anything that would even be close? That would even come in second place as a nomination for a 1-hour special? I'm not talking fan animated. I'm talking like he gets an actual studio fully behind it, like just straight anim, like an actual studio, a major studio, the same studio that maybe did the most recent, like fully produces it. There wouldn't even be anything that would be close in second place now. Appreciate you, JC. Yeah, I don't think it would even be close. Yeah, I think the Hisoka Crollo fight would be... It would win by a landslide, like 90%, 95%. So we easily say that's number 1, right? That's the easy answer, right? Let's say he said he has the green light from a studio with full backing, financials, and everything, but it's the only thing that's off the table is the Crollo Hisoka fight. Like they're saving that for maybe when they bring back the anime, or they're saying he gives up whatever excuse to why the 1-hour adaptation can't be that. What do you think would then be second place? What would win the vote then if it couldn't be Hisoka Crollo? trying to think. What do we think it would be? Oh gosh, I don't even know. Second? Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see all of it too, but I think we're over here struggling to get chapters. I don't even know if we're ever going to get it to come back officially. Yeah, I don't... Troop backstory, Keith, wouldn't be bad, true. I was thinking maybe Sir Rydnick's, like, ability awakening, where he's figuring it out, and, like, he's like, oh, what the fuck just happened to me? And you see him, like, dealing with the 10 seconds and figuring out what it is. That would be my... That's just one that pops on the top of my head. I'm trying to think whatever else. What would come in second? He's like, okay, fans, studio has said they'll fully fund and animate a 1 hour special, but it can't be Kurolo Hisoka. What would get the vote? Golly. The troop backstory is not bad, though. That's pretty good. What's going on, Jay? Yeah, I don't even know if I have something that comes to mind on the top of my head. Because I feel like there hasn't been any crazy action moments, maybe? It's been so much plotting and scheming and scheming and plotting. I probably would want to include in that 1 hour special, something that could give me the most Spirit Beast on screen at a time. What arc did we have, or like mini chapters did we have that really showed kind of like every single prince? Because I would love to see the prince's color scheme and their Spirit Beast color scheme like on screen. Maybe the seed urn ceremony would get animated and they'd show us, but like, is that what the fans would really vote for? I don't know what would get the vote. If you couldn't vote Kurolo Hisoka, I do not know what would get the vote for a 1 hour animated special overseen by Togashi. I don't know. I don't know. True, I was thinking of the Kacho death as well. That wouldn't be bad either, but like, would people vote for that? I don't know. Is that something people would want to see animated? It's just so easy. I feel like it's so easy that we want the Kurolo Hisoka that nothing else would compare. Like, I would rather them just save the budget, honestly. Yeah, that's another thing too. Some of it does have a lot of text, but also I didn't read the manga up to the anime stoppage. So I don't know if this is just something new he's adopted. You guys would have to let me know if you were kind of around for that. Were there always text-heavy chunk chapters like this, even with the pre stuff? Or is this just kind of something he's adopted post-anime? Melody moment when Prince gets shot? Yeah. I think probably when they all enter the whale, or something that shows all of the princes kind of getting access to their Spirit Beast, would probably be mine. I also wouldn't mind the troop. Actually, now that I think a little bit deeper into it, when Nobunaga, Sphinx, and Phaeton are trying to hunt them down, the hideout, and they get like caught in the bathroom or get slipped into it, and they figure out like they can't pass the doorway or whatever. I'd like to see animated. That maybe would get my vote. I'm not gonna lie. Dang, so like even pre-Succession Battle, it's never been like this text heavy. The thing is, like, and we haven't even gotten into it. If you guys had to guess, when does this even finish? What do we count? What are we counting as the arc finishing, right? We all agree that that Succession, or maybe I go this way. Succession and Dark Continent are like there's a line of demarcation, right? Those are separated by two different things. So, like, when we say the anime wouldn't come back till this arc finishes, we mean the Succession Battle arc, right? But the problem is, the Succession Battle arc, he has 40 to 50 more chapters that have already been, like, mapped out and ready to give, or 40 to 50 chapters to finish it. The problem is the Succession Battle has so much underneath it. Troop being one of them specifically, that it's like, what does an end date even look like for this? I don't know. How could you know, I guess? Shit seems ridiculous, though. I don't even know what an endpoint looks like to realistically be like, okay, you know, that could be a thing. I don't know. $20.30. How many chapters have we been averaging a year? How many chapters have we been averaging a year? Recently. Let's see. This year we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2030 just seems so far away. It really truly does. Oh god. I'd hate to be like, oh yeah, 2030 the anime would come out, bro. Are we even gonna be here? Keith, I'm with you though. That's probably hard. I think that's when I want to start out. First question. This has nothing to do with that. This is just an overarching question. Let me pull this back up. Where do you guys stand on this? Let me know where y'all stand on this. What the fuck is this random ad? Where do y'all trying to skip this? I'd be curious because we have a decent like Hunter x Hunter fan base here, right? Where do y'all stand on this? I guess it's like a two-part question. Would you want Gon back as the main slash... Can you guys even see this? Yes, you can. As the main slash semi-main character. And then the follow-up to that is, would you want Gon to get his Nen back? Now, his Nen back is a whole different discussion. Some people saying he never lost it. His nodes are just close. That's a whole different specific question. But would you want to see him fully just out there, charging up rock, paper, scissors, fully enhancing all that craziness? Me, personally, my answer is no to both of those. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind this. I wouldn't mind this one. I wouldn't mind him being the main character, or not the main character. The world has gotten so big post anime that, like, to really hone in on Gon being like the main character, there's been so much. Boxes have been open for so many people that I feel like it'd be hard to say like Gon is the main character, because even towards the end, like, it didn't even feel like he was the main character. Like, we weren't following his story anymore. I feel like after like Greed Island, it really became a lot of people's story. So I wouldn't mind him being a semi-main character. I would not want him to get his Nen back though. So I'm yes to this. I wouldn't mind, but I'm a big no to that one. Let me go back to where we were. Is 2032 optimistic? I'd like sooner than that, but maybe that's asking for a lot. We're just trying to get to the Dark Continent. Correct. Will we ever get there? I don't know. 10 chapters each batch. So do you think we only get 10 chapters next year? The war's wrapping up. Ben is dying in less than 24 hours, and the fourth is itching to use his powers. I agree with you, Connoisseur, but it's like the war's wrapping up / he could go on another tangent of somebody's abilities or something like that that could really not kill, but like it could take 5 to 6 chapters of like showing somebody's ability or a certain fight. That the time we like get back to like, okay, what's happening in the timeline, that could literally take another year the way he releases chapters. So JC Jazz, yes at some point. Yes, but with a logical explanation. Yes to both questions if Togashi has a good plan for him, which I think he does. There's foreshadowing that Gon would meet Gyro. Are we still interested in the Gyro storyline? Ging gotta be... Okay, I definitely agree with that. Ging will definitely be a main character at some point. And I would just be so... Again, he could write in whatever story he wants. It could be amazing. There's so many other stories that I'm interested in right now that there's nothing that Gon could be... There's nothing Gon could be involved in that would make me interested in cutting to him as a main character for X amount of chapters. There's so much going on right now that there's nothing you could give me that would make me interested in him as a main character. Yes and no, but he still has aura, so he could have a Nen Beast. Gon and Killua had their arcs. I do agree with that, Keith. It's like they had their time. What would you need to like wrap them back up in again? You know? Togashi is about to start working on the chapters in the next days, weeks. And he already has 14 chapters drawn, so I don't think we'll be getting... I hope not. We always think the build-up must be done. But then he cuts to new... That's what I'm saying, Yeti. It's like, okay, the war must really be getting to it. And then we'll take a side step. And like, we'll learn somebody's random ability that'll take 3 to 4 chapters. And like, if we only get 10 chapters a year, and you take a hard left turn, and take, let's say, 4 chapters total of the 10 that we get, like the... Chapters 2 and 3 and 7, 8 are left to explain these wild abilities and conditions. We just lost a whole year's worth of content because we're only getting 10 chapters a year. So I don't know. Ging has to be the main character. Well, Ging and Beyond Netero would be the two like parallel. You know how we had like Gon and Killua's story going at the same time, but more Gon, but Killua at the same time. I think Beyond Netero and Ging running that arc at the same time, maybe more leaning towards Ging, but I wouldn't mind a time skip Gon. I'd be curious to see. I mean, I guess it would get to like, okay, well clearly they're going to show us what he's been doing during that time. Like, I would completely be okay if Gon turned into the thing. I don't like it in that verse, but like if Gon just fully went a Gohan route, like he was used for like this epic craziness. People are gonna love that character and always talk about Gon and his transformation, what he did to Pito and XYZ, yada yada yada. But like we knew what his goal was, you know, and he wasn't his father trying to become this or that or this crazy hunter or achieve these abilities and these powers. You know, his goal was to find his dad, and he did. And he used what he needed to do during that time to find him. The fighting and the Nen and everything serves him no interest, no purpose. So I wouldn't mind checking up on Gon, but I don't need to be explained how Gon has unlocked his abilities and has his Nen back. I don't know. Hey, I'm curious. I mean, Leorio is on the ship, so we got a better chance of getting some Leorio than we do of Gon or Killua. Oh, yeah, if Mito was to get taken out in that way. Because the only reason I don't want him to get this back right here, because people ask me that all the time. They're like, well, his nodes are still on, or he still has aura, and it was stated, you know, aura could still be seen. He just has to, like, retrain it or re-unlock it or whatever. The thing is behind that is that it cheapens the moment to me. Now, if you're somebody, let's be realistic, guys. Let's be realistic for 2 seconds. Do I personally, and this has been crazy because I'm kind of on the recent hiatus train. I wasn't on the long hiatus. I've been a part of like the chapters not coming out for a couple years, but some of you guys have been sitting around like decades waiting for updates and chapters, right? It's recent for me. But if I'm being honest, do I personally think that we will get a full-fledged, reoccurring yearly, every other year, running Hunter x Hunter anime during my lifetime. I do not. I just don't. I'm just being, now again, come shock the world, do some craziness, you know, all that stuff. I just personally don't think that we will. Maybe we will. Shock me. I'd love to see it. So if you're somebody that just watches the original anime, you have no interest in picking up the manga post, I feel like the way Gon's storyline ends is like good right there. The sacrifice and everything he was willing to sacrifice and did sacrifice, it would be cheapened to me to have him have a time skip, another motivation, whatever, just to see him like spitting back out abilities and powers and enhancements again, in my opinion. Looking back on it, it wouldn't hit the same for me, you know? And that there's multiple examples I can give in multiple shows and just Hunter x Hunter in general. Well, let me catch up on some of these. It'd be a gutsy choice to sideline Gon permanently, but I have to respect it. I wouldn't mind him being in the story, but I just wouldn't want him achieving these great powers again. Maybe you give him the ability to just like see Nen and react to it, but him becoming like this ultimate master enhancer and fully reaching the potential that he gave up, I wouldn't enjoy it. Yeah, maybe AI will help Togashi get it out there. I think that if it does happen, it'll be after the succession arc. Yeah, so whatever they do with Gon, right? Whatever he decides to do with it, it'll just cheapen it for me. It's almost like it took a lot for me to get by and accept that we got a press button. We got a button that said, okay, redo, to heal him in the first place. Like, that's the way what he had to go through in the, what are we even calling it? Oh god, what is the arc? What's the arc? I want to call it the voting arc, but it's not. The presidential chairman arc, whatever you want to call it. The way they showed him physically and like how he was on, like, that's the sacrifice, like that's what you sacrificed. I'm glad that they showed that. It took a minute for me to accept that just because of what they did, but because it was Killua's storyline and they talked about the dark content and everything, I accepted the result of Gon essentially having no consequences to what he did. That a lot right there for me is a lot to get by. If he gets to fully physically reset, no consequences, and he gets all of his abilities back, like none of that ever happened, it would cheapen just Hunter x Hunter in general for me, but that's just me. That's just me. I'd rather, like, you can show him, have him be like Gohan, have him pop up every now and then. Let's see what Gon's up to. Oh, him and Killua are hanging out. Let's check in on it. But I don't need Gon being like the ultimate character of an arc, the ultimate power. He gets this resurgence and now he's got the perfect foot. I don't want any of that. So, who knows? Like I said, if you want to give him a baseline Nen to where, like, he's maybe able to protect himself from other Nen, but, like, what would he be involved in like that? Again, Mito gets murdered, something like that. Of course, maybe he gets back in the game. But that's just me, and I'm always going to be on that side of the fence. Is like, I would prefer Gon just be left. If you want to show him updates here and there, cool, sure. I have no interest in him becoming a Nen master and all this craziness again. It'd be like if Netero, like, pushed the nuke in his heart, ready to give it all up, and then he just gets, like, respawned after the fact. It's like, well, damn. The thing that made that so great was, like, him. You've all seen the reactions of the skull coming up behind him and everybody freaking out, and him talking about humanity and what he was willing to give up and wanted that one last fight. And he just, like, gets reset. It's like, man. Just doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit the same. That's where I fall on that, though. So. And the problem with that, drunk hell, we're talking about Gon. Guys, what does a realistic time for that look like? 10 years from now? Are we still going to be interested in that time? Like, let's be realistic with it. With the amount of chapters we're getting, bro. How many? When does Crollo and Hisoka fight start? When does that start? $351. What chapter do we just end? 410. We've been 60 chapters already. And we have not even, in my opinion, we're not even on the halfway through the succession battle, in my opinion. So we're 60 chapters in. Let's say it takes us 100 plus chapters just to finish the succession, finish whatever's happening with the troop, Hisoka, Crollo, Kurapika, Saraidnik, all of that. It takes us another 40 plus, let's say 120 to 150 chapters, right? Does anybody think the Dark Continent won't at least be double those amount of chapters? I'm dead ass. Let's say the entire succession, troop, everything included, Kurapika takes 150 chapters, and that's being generous. There's no way the Dark Continent does not at least double that. So we're talking a good like 4, and then like how many stories are out there that are 1,000 chapters long? I don't know. We're over here talking about like, man, I can't wait to see the Gon and Gyro interactions. What are we talking about? 600 something chapters from now? How long of time would that be? I mean, good lord. It'd be so long till we came back around. Yeah, I can't see. I don't know. I can't see it. I don't know. At this pace, especially, it would just take so long, in my opinion. Oh, man. Even if Adult Gon is too slow, Netero probably... Yeah, I definitely think... I think Prime Netero beats Prime Gon, in my opinion. Because... I think, in my opinion, you guys let me know if I'm wrong, Gon is just like a lighter version of Meruem, pre-absorbing the other guards. I don't think Gon is on that level pre-bomb Meruem. Let's put him a little bit down. But even a little bit down, he's not as tanky as Meruem, right? So if Meruem's struggling to get in and track, and we know that Gon does not have the mental of him to probably see through that, how much of a beating could Gon take if he's not as durable before he just gets beaten down, in my opinion? Gon doesn't have the mental or the durability, and I feel like those two things are what put pre-bomb Meruem on that level. So if he doesn't have those two main factors, I don't see how Gon could, in my opinion. But who knows? Yeah, the UFO Shatter came out like 15 years ago. Yeah, so that came out 15 years ago, bro. I don't know. Agreed. Dark Continent will probably be bigger. Yeah. If only I see the chapter finished. How many chapters in One Piece for comparison? Good question. So like we're at 410, right? I said generously, let's cut it at 5. Let's say we get to 500 to fully wrap up the succession. I say add a minimum of 200 to 300 just to finish the Dark Continent. So that gets us to like 800 chapters. Then after that, it's wide open. But like, what does that look like? What does that look like? They're at 1135 for One Piece, right? 1135. I'm trying to think of some of the other big ones. 1135, 700. Oh, Lord. I mean, in my opinion, if it had to do that, if they did that, it would run longer than One Piece, in my opinion. It would. It would. It would run longer than One Piece, chapter-wise, in my opinion. It just point-blank would. that's just how I feel about that whole situation. Let me get the chat pulled back up. Where are we at here? I don't think we're getting much after the Succession War. I think the Dark Continent will be a shorter arc, like York New and Greed Island length. The scale of setting is bigger, but a relatively smaller cast. I definitely think smaller cast and less political. It just depends, like, how deep of the Dark Continent. So I agree, less political, less cast. But I think there's so much more world building to it. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get introduced to characters on the Dark Continent. And then their backstories, their stories, and the other, like, calamities and I don't know. I feel like that's a box that's going to have a lot of chapters. Smaller cast and no political, but the world building and things we might run into would be insane. I think it will be less political, but knowing Togashi, it will be less about fighting and more about the science and surviving of Dark Continent. Oh yeah, it'll definitely be complex. Maybe trying to you have to figure out an antidote or a way to do this, how to get back. I don't know. It seems like a lot. It's very like, I mean, it's already sci-fi and, you know, all anime is whatever. But like, you're getting very deep into like fantasy. So it's like, yeah, we removed the political, but now we're getting deep, like exploring space, new world type territory. So you don't think we have, I just can't see like, I can't see Dark Continent and reintroducing Gon and a whole Gyro storyline being finished in 500 chapters. And I feel like if they were to reintroduce Gon in some fashion, by default, of course you're reintroducing Killua, no? Of course you are. And then you have to ask yourself, let's say a certain group goes to the Dark Continent. Let's say there's either a Hisoka surviving or troop members surviving. I think they'll get their own little arc when we return back to regular world in general. Oh, Jazz, they will definitely be introducing new characters when we hit the Dark Continent. 1000%. They will be introducing new characters. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Keith, you might be right. A quick way to like wrap it up in less than 500 chapters, kill off some characters. If somehow Chrollo, Hisoka, and Kurapika all survive this succession thing, and somehow make it back to regular planet Earth, or the continent, there's no way you don't revisit them as characters. Period. At all. So the more you leave to survive, the more I feel like we'll have to be touched back on when the Dark Continent ends and we come all the way back around. It's just, I feel like Togashi has shown, and again, I've only been reading like 60 chapters. I feel like he has shown me nothing to make me think that he won't let his own imagination run wild. But I don't know. Oh yeah, we have the entire, we haven't even talked about Periston's group and the Zodiacs and diving into them when we reach the Dark Continent. Yep, you'll get more characters like her and the Five Kalim, and it's spicy. It's spicy. And just the way we're getting chapters, so let's say we say 700, right? How long has it taken us to go from, trying to see here, what do we got? Were we at 350 for the Hisoka Chrollo stuff? When did that come out? This might be incorrect here. This might be when the chapters were updated. When did Hisoka Chrollo come out? Was that 2021 or was that later? It might have been later, I'm not sure. But 10 chapters a year just to get to 700? And we're not even at 5? I mean, we're talking 300 more chapters and we're only getting roughly 10 a year. Somebody do the math on that. If we keep it that and it ends at 700 and we're being generous saying it ends at 700, how many years are we talking? Like, what are we talking here? It's 2016? So between So that's when I'm trying to cut it off. So 2016 is when it came out, right? How long has it been that we've been getting this like 10 a year? Has that been consistent for 3 years? That we've been getting like batches of 10, 10, 10? I don't know if it's Gabrielle or Gabriel. Do I think it'll have all the fights? I don't think it'll have all the fights, but I think it'll give us some fights we weren't expecting. Like I said, it's too many. Alright, so 2022 we got 10, and 2024 we got 10. So yeah, it's about 10 a year. And if we're thinking it's 300 plus more chapters, Lord help us. There's just way too many characters and too many sub-characters and sub-groups to give us the fights of everybody that we would like to see. I think some fights will be quick one-hitters, anticlimactic, where it was like, wow, that wasn't even close. But then I think we'll get some fights between characters we weren't expecting that probably end up being some great fights. Can I get a... What? I don't know what I'm looking at. Aha. So, the red is hiatus. Wow. Where do you even... So 2018 was a good little year, huh? And then just nothing. Fair. Yeah. And the thing is, like, we're in a lucky period right now with what we're getting chapter wise, in my opinion. We're all agree, right, that at any point this shit could go sideways and we just go cold turkey nothing for a handful of years. We are like one sneeze, one bend over and tie his shoe wrong, one hard cough away from that back being shot to where we just go radio silent. And I mean silent. Yeah, Smokey, on that pace, you're about correct. If we keep it the same pace and we think, luckily, maybe it'll end at 700, we're talking 15 to 20 years. Like, I will be deep into my 50s by then. Deep into my 50s. I might have kids that will have kids by then. Who even knows if YouTube will still be a thing at that point? I mean, you guys know my take on it. I've said it for a while, and I've seen some other people say it. Not some other people say it. I've seen a lot of people say it. I feel like you have a small corner of the internet, whether that's YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, whatever, that is against it. But if he wanted the full funding and backup and assistance, we could have this shit cranked out so fast and a new updated running anime by the end of next year. If he just spoke it, his ideas, or literally just wrote them, recorded, whatever, and he has endless resources, endless things at his fingertips, him, his wife, friends in the industry, they would line up to be the ones to be drawing and writing the manga and everything for him, and anime included. If he did that, we would crank shit out so fast. And I personally think if he did that, and Hunter x Hunter is popular, you know, some people have it as their favorite, some people say it's better than, whether that's Attack on Titan, One Piece for you, whatever. It would be, I personally think it would take over the manga and anime space currently, in my opinion. all these other random animes, you know, they blip and they do these things, you know. It's Jujutsu Kaisen 1 year, then it's Chainsaw Man, then it's My Hero, and then it's this, and then it's that. And like One Piece is always there kind of doing its thing. Me personally, though, I think if he fully gave the reins, he's still creative director. He's still, everything is his story. If he gave full reins to that, I truly fully think that Hunter x Hunter would dominate the anime and manga space over One Piece, over all the new hot, new gen things that come out, in my opinion. Now, I've had people on the other side of the fence is like, you're not an author, you're not an illustrator, you're not a writer, you wouldn't get it being able to hand over your, you know, your writing styles and things over to other people. All right, I get it. But a lot of us do agree with like, just let it be taken over by somebody else. I don't think we'll ever get that, but if he ever did, I think it'd be crazy. What's going on, Young Mech? Yeah, I agree. He could easily hire multiple artists. But, yeah. I think that Chimera Ant started when One Piece was in Skypiea. Jesus. It would be interesting. Is he supervise an anime continuation and continue the manga on his own? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think Hunter x Hunter could have way more popularity. 100% it would. Like, people know about Hunter x Hunter and its thing, but how many, like, reactors do you guys watch? Or people that, like, when they go through Hunter x Hunter and 148 is there, like, they're done with it. Like, and people aren't going to read manga or do that. They're just done with it. But I have a lot of One Piece to go. And people say that I haven't even gotten to the best parts of One Piece. But I truly think that Hunter x Hunter would take over the space if he let other people animate, draw, write for him, and he just told the story. Yeah, and he's yeah. Do I think they should dumb down the complexity of it if they go to anime with it? It depends, because we've seen them. I think, there's really only one complexity in the anime that I can think of off the top of my head. Others might think more is complex, but it was the Knuckle explaining his ability. But the way they had Knuckle explain his ability was like almost comedic, the way they made Gon's reaction to it, so it made like the viewer laugh at it and everything. But I don't think the Succession War and the detail of it is like a laughing haha matter when things are getting explained. I almost think maybe you can trim some of the fat, though, if you redid it in anime. That you might not need as much detail in some things, especially if we see it through and it's like, oh, that wasn't as important as it was explained. If you redid it in an anime, you could just like trim that off. I'm almost in the last good part of One Piece. I've seen a lot of people are torn on that. People say Marineford is the best of it and it only goes downhill from here. I say people say Marineford isn't even like the top 2 or 3 best arc. I mean, it's going to be personal preference. Yeah, and there's probably so many manga out there that are so well written that people will never know just because it's never going to have the popularity of it, you know? Yeah, a lot of people would hate the Succession dialogue for sure, so it would have to be trimmed and put out correctly. Gotta trim a lot of it. But like I said, if you guys asked me, if everything stays like it is right now, we get these 10 chapters a year, he's not giving away any artistic leniencies to other people. I don't think we will see an anime come back for Hunter x Hunter in my lifetime. I truly 100% believe that it's not going to come back. But like I said, I truly think it'd be the #1 manga and anime out right now if he was able to pump it out with any type of better consistency. And if you can get an anime going at the same time, you could just take over the space, but... Yeah, I mean, there's some, like, just this, like I was talking about this alone, just the Spirit Beast alone, I'd love to see animated. Just that alone. Like, you're telling me right now, right? Like, imagine. Like, I don't know what's average, for a good, popular running shonen. How many chapters does one get a year? Let's go One Piece, for example. How many chapters came out this year? 1103 to 35. Let's call it 40. And I don't know if 40 is like average for most manga. Like you're getting 30 to 50 chapters a year. I don't know. We're just going to use One Piece as an example. Let's say 40. Imagine we were on a consistent 40 chapter a year upload, and Hisoka Krollo hit the animated scene at the same time. That momentum going forward with Hunter x Hunter would be insane. And then like the anime fully is going after that. We go into the fucking Dark Continent, beyond Netero, Gang, Paris, and everybody getting on the whale, like all of it. The momentum would be insane for Hunter x Hunter, but I don't think we'll ever get that. I don't think we do. So that's what I'm saying. If you were to open, let's not even say 2025 because it's not realistic because we haven't heard anything. But imagine like 2026 starts, they announce Hunter x Hunter getting animated, starting with the Hisoka Krollo fight, and then just going on regularly. Hunter x Hunter manga, 40 plus chapters a year, and they just go. They would dominate the manga and anime space. Dominate it. But no, it would never happen. And the thing is, like, do I think it's so good because he takes his time? Yeah, I could see that. But then also it's like you've had so much time. So it's like, I don't know. When you vanish for years at a time, I'd like to think that you probably already had some of that mapped out. We're just now getting it. So I just think, I wouldn't say time has anything to do with that. I just think he just might be good at telling his story. Krollo and Hisoka would break the internet. It would break it. I don't know where you would put it as far as like things. I haven't been around. Because I would say what? The reaction space, in my opinion, really started with Dragon Ball Super. I feel like I was I'm like pioneering anime reactions. But I felt like and people were reacting well before me, but reacting wasn't a thing. Now everybody reacts. You go on YouTube and it's like, it'll be like surgeon reacts, lawyer reacts, fucking music studio producer reacts to. Me and my grandma react to me and my dog. Like everybody does it, right? They react to anime, they react to movies, they react to all of it. But I feel like 10 years ago, yeah, anime haters react to, bullies react to, like just whatever. You got to get clicks. You do what you got to do, I guess. But like 9 to 10 years ago when Dragon Ball Super was coming out, I feel like that's when anime reactions really started to be like, okay, this could be a thing. Because back then it was a lot of Game of Thrones. That's when it kind of started. Like, oh, people were reacting to Game of Thrones, but people didn't have setups and ring lights and LEDs. Just people putting their phones up, reacting to the Red Wedding and random shit with no screen on it, no anything. It was just raw reactions uploaded in like 480p, just wild shit. And then Dragon Ball Super kind of like released it. So since Dragon Ball Super, like that kind of like broke the internet, but there was never really like an anime manga part of the internet. But then over the last like decade, it's like broken open. And then like the Attack on Titan wave came. All the My Hero, the Jujutsu, the Demon Slayer, the Chainsaw Man, the One Punch. Like all of them had their like every the One Piece and Luffy going like Gear 78 or whatever. Everything has kind of like had its moment to like break the internet. But I feel like there's been a handful of things that really like broke it. Do I think like Goku going Ultra Instinct, that shit broke the internet? Do I think that Hisoka Crollo would like shut shit down? Yeah, I do. I think it would. I think it would. Yeah, and I'd say a lot of people like, and it's more kind of like accepted now, the whole anime thing. I feel like when I was in, honestly, I feel like you find more people now that like you'll be more kind of like whoa to people that like don't watch any type of anime now. You have people, you'll have your friend groups, and some of you are younger than me, so like y'all grew up watching, so like everybody you know watches it, but like my generation wasn't doing that, or like it wasn't like spoken, you know. Now like your siblings will watch it, people that you might date watch it, younger than you, older than you, like everybody has their anime like that, like they've watched now. I feel like it's more head scratching of like, oh, you've never watched an anime? People look at you weird. But if you said you watched anime like 10, 15 years ago, people looked at you weird. So it's much more mainstream, and the internet like really helped that. Reacting channels helped that too. But that was like a prime time of like, it was Game of Thrones like season 6, 7, 8. At the same time, like Dragon Ball Super was going on at the same time. At the same time, Walking Dead was like at its peak. Like Negan just got introduced. Like that was like the beginning, in my opinion, of like reaction stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like back in the day, it was like, did you watch Pokemon or did you watch Yu-Gi-Oh? That was about it, you know? Now, everybody watches it. Everybody does. Yeah, The Walking Dead Season 7, along with Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power arc, along with, I think it was Game of Thrones Season 8 or Season 6, somewhere around there. All that was coming out at within the same like 24 months, and it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then shit just blew. But again, I don't know if it would truly break the internet. But you give me Hisoka and Crollo properly. I'm not talking like, oh, a fan studio did its best. I'm saying it has the backing of Togashi and the oversight and everything. That shit gets animated. Whoa. That's serious views. That is crazy. Yeah, I feel like the Dragon Ball Super was the only one that I feel like really broke shit at the time. You'll see things trending, of course. If there's a crazy new recent like Luffy One Piece fight, like you'll see it trending. Any fight that comes up, you'll see trending. Everything trends these days, but I'm saying like shut shit down. Attack on Titan definitely was, for sure. I'm trying to think if there's any other like major questions. Yeah, I've seen that those two are pretty hot in the streets right now. I definitely want to react to one of them. I just don't know where to put it because the schedule's getting crazy, and like new job and things. It's like, where do I put it? Hunter x Hunter ending definitely like freed up some space. but nothing I'm currently reacting to is anywhere close to finishing. One Piece is going to be another 5+ years till I finish that or get close. And it still might even be ongoing. That might never end. I'm not even in the middle of JoJo's. Hundreds of more episodes of that. I got 100+ more episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho. We're just kind of like not in a... we'll figure out space somewhere. What do we have on the... What's on the streets for anime? Chainsaw Man has the movie. Chainsaw Man has the movie, and what else? Any big seasons coming back? Oh, My Hero is the final season? Is My Hero final season? Fire Force. Never seen it. Oh no, they have that coming out. But I'm pretty sure... Spy Family, One Punch Man Season 3. Ooh, okay. So we have that. Do we have an episode length on that? Is that it? Am I missing anything that you guys have that I didn't just see on this list? Dragon Ball, yeah. Yeah, we just went past that X8. Yeah, JoJo's gonna take me a long time. Yeah, that's another thing too. Dragon Ball, I mean not Dragon Ball, Attack on Titan didn't have the like older crowd and everything. It just had to like do its own thing. Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer movie, and My Hero. Is there any Jujutsu Kaisen coming out? One Punch Man. Which hat? Is there? Is because I see it going crazy and shit, right, guys? Is the Dawn or whatever it's called? Let's be real, like let's all hype beasts, like calm down for a second. Is it hitting like that, or is it just it's just another one added to the list? Like it's good, like put it in the shelf with Jujutsu, Demon Slayer, My Hero, whatever. Like it's over there, or is it like above, or is it like it's just good? Damn. No Jujutsu Kaisen date. I'm liking JoJo's right now. I'm curious to see where it'll go. Kind of once the new car smell of the stands wear off. But yeah. Okay, so like the animation's good and it has an okay story. It's fair. Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured it was just another like good. Okay, so yeah, just put it in the bucket with everything else. What is the one that came out earlier this year with the big smiling face that I see everywhere? What is that? Solo Leveling? Is that what that is? Yeah. Well, that's the Attack on Titan face, but yeah, that's the one with the big smiling face that you guys. Yeah. That one. What's the word on that? Same shit. Like, add it to the list, add it to the bucket. Solid animation, stories straight. Like it's good, or how do you? Is it Frieren? How do you pronounce it? Yeah, the stands have actually been getting crazy. The stands are definitely starting to turn into like Hunter x Hunter type abilities to where you mold that thing into whatever you want. Is it? Is it really? This here looks interesting. Is that my vibe though? Or it's like, it's good. I don't know. I don't want to judge. I haven't seen it. Wait, Solo Leveling is just a hype train? It's not hitting like that? Oh, it's getting carried by fights. Yeah, just looking at Frieren, however you pronounce it, looking at it doesn't look like it's my vibe, but hey, if it's good, it's good. If something's good, it's good. Solo leveling's alright. Yeah, because everybody was rushing. They're like, oh, you gotta get on solo leveling. You gotta get on the Dawn, or however you pronounce it. You gotta get on it. And I'm like, is it just more of the, not more of the same? Like, they can still be great, but it's like, there's world-changing animes out there. And it's like, is that what these are? Or these are just other good shonens? And it's cheap to say, like, is it like Attack on Titan? Because, like, what is, you know? But, like, if something was to be released, I would trust you guys, like, let me know, like, you can get to it when you get to it, or, like, no, this is life-changing. Like, no, this is a Hunter x Hunter. This is an Attack on Titan. This is a Death Note. You know, this is, like, that type of level. And I don't know if anything that got released this year that I saw everyone chirping about was really that. True, I do know a lot of people that want to knock Full Metal off. I see it all over my YouTube by people reacting to it, but I have no idea what the story is. Do they really? Is it new? Like, how long has it been? When did the anime... I mean, clearly it had its own manga. When did it release? Just this year? People already have it fucking bumping like that? Can I get a date? Can we have an honest conversation about, like, how ass Crunchyroll is? I'm just gonna throw that out there. $2023. Okay. It's got a 4.9 out of 5 on Crunchyroll. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes is whatever. 91%. The reviews enough would give them the leniency for me to check it out. After that, I'd have to form my own opinion. Yeah, Jas Will, if I'm saying that right. I've seen people talking about that too. Yeah, and I feel like that's what we're going to have to start in 2025. Because again, the goal, which we've been trying for a while, you know, we'd love to do YouTube full time and to have 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 plus thousand subs, and the Patreon's booming with thousands of members. Like, of course, that's like the long frame goal. Sometimes it happens overnight for some people. Sometimes it'll never happen regardless. But just because we do have those aspirations, for 2025, I am going to have to carve out ways to fit in the kind of like new released anime. Like, Solo Leveling probably should have been reacted to when it was coming out. The Dawn probably should have been reacted to when it was coming out. Frieren, or however you pronounce it, if it was on season 2, that should have been reacted to as it was coming out. So my goal for 2025, regardless of how swamped we are with what we're getting up on Patreon and early this and long standing that, is we're going to have to release the like hot animes, in my opinion. You can have your long standing, you know, like your core base there, but I feel like to be trendy or whatever you want to call it, you're going to have to release those. So that'll be the goal for 2025. So I don't know what's going to be like the new trendy. Like when One Punch Man drops, like I won't wait months after. Like we're going to be dropping when it drops and everything else. Because it does me no good to pick up something like I'm interested in reacting to Bleach. Like that looks like something I would fuck with. My current upload schedule and time has nowhere to put a 700 plus anime right now at the moment, you know? I need to save upload schedule for like short new shows that are coming out that are going to have like 12 to 20 episodes. Like we get in, we get out. Peak of One Punch Man, they say. Peak, they say. I've enjoyed One Punch Man, but I'm talking like, what's the next life-changing anime? I'd love to do Bleach after One Piece, but I don't. One Piece is so down the line. We might get a Hunter x Hunter anime announcement before I finish One Piece. Like, that's how serious that is. Like, we're that far behind, you know? Like, is there anything out right now? Remove One Piece because I'm already reacting to it. Is there any life-changing anime that's out right now or that dropped this past year? Is there any Hunter x Hunter? Is there any Attack on Titan out there? Is there anything like that out there right now? Is there a... Oh, God. Is there a Vinland Saga Season 2 out there? Like, is there anything out there right now or not really? I don't think there is at the moment. I think right now there's good shonen out. Everybody's got borderline top tier animation these days. Everybody goes crazy with the fight scenes. Everything's got middling storytelling. But is there anything that's just like changing lives right now? From the way I stay plugged in without trying to be spoiled, it doesn't seem like anything is right now. It seems like there's a lot of good out there at the moment, but there's not peak. If it has 25 episodes, I can see them reaching the peaks. If 12 episodes, it's not the peak moment yet. Don't know if they'll be able to get the full arc in season 3. Yeah, nothing out there right now. I don't watch many animes nowadays. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. A lot of people hyping up the anime called Orb. Haven't seen it myself. And ReZero has Berserk tier character writing, but I doubt they're your vibe. I had heard a lot of people talk about ReZero. Nevia, what's going on? If we're pronouncing that correctly. Hunter x Hunter. I think that if someone was to ask me, give me like your top 3 or 5 anime. Attack on Titan, Death Note, Hunter x Hunter. And then it's kind of like fluid. Like, you want to talk peaks of peaks, Naruto is up there. Didn't we do a... We did a anime tier list. We got Attack on Titan, Death Note, Hunter x Hunter, and Vinland Saga. Really love Tokyo Ghoul. We got My Hero and everything sitting here, but like, this is the vibe. The Attack on Titan, Death Note, Hunter x Hunter, Vinland Saga. Sprinkle me in some Tokyo Ghoul. Of course, we got classic Dragon Ball, Naruto. Mob Psycho will always have like a place at my table. Like, that's what we're kind of fucking with, That's the vibe. Fan service depends. It's like, I don't mind fan service if it doesn't like completely kill plot reasoning, Is DBZ too high? Yeah, a lot of this list was take out the bad. Every anime has its downfalls, its dry moments, its filler, its things that don't make sense, plot holes, XYZ, whatever. If we're talking peak, rank next to peak. Like, where are you putting these things? And some of these animes have really, really, really high peaks. Like, I know we like to shit on My Hero, sometimes deservedly so. But My Hero's peaks, My Hero's fights might be able to go toe-to-toe with a lot of fucking fights in a lot of people's favorite animes. I'm just going to put that out there. Maybe not better fights, but they could just list you banger fight after banger fight after fight after fight after fight, and the list just goes on and on. Like they could pull up with your 10 best, they might have a 10 best plus another 5 to go. So that's what this list ultimately came down to. Everything's got its flaws. Even Attack on Titan has its flaws to me. But we're putting your best versus everybody else's best, and that's kind of how the list ended up coming out. I see that maybe Fern wouldn't be your vibe. It starts pretty chill and focused on character relationships. Honestly, it could be good because Vinland Saga didn't come off as my vibe either originally. And the more I kind of sat on it and let it marinate. And Vinland Saga doesn't have fights like that. I mean, it has, of course. But if you can write peak, it's peak. So, there doesn't have to be a single fight in it. Yeah, a lot of people talk about Korra, but like Avatar just left such a bad taste in my mouth that like to commit to like more Avatar content is just like, again, me as a reactor, I don't like Avatar The Last Airbender, but as somebody that has a reaction channel and wants the reaction channel to succeed and do better, I should have been reacting to the live action of Avatar when it came out, putting uploads, making thumbnails, and putting TikToks of it up. But it wasn't something that I enjoyed, so I didn't even want to have myself sit through it. But thinking from a growth perspective, it should have been reacted to when it came out. Yeah, I saw Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero trending for some hated endings. I think we took a vote on it somewhere. Yeah, we did. We did take a vote on that thing. It's in one of my community posts. See if we can find it. We took a vote. Here, right here. All my Jujutsu Kaisen manga fans out there. We got 200 plus votes. Said, how are we feeling? 50% said average. 40% said it was awful. So that means 94% of that vote said it was average to awful. So that's how that kind of goes. I'm pretty sure we had a My Hero one as well. Somewhere in there. But yeah, you kind of saw how that goes. Hajime, so many people have talked about the boxing one, and I've just yet to get on. How many episodes is it? Dang, they're really going to try to get me to react to Legend of Korra, huh? Yeah, we just kind of react to like what the people tell me to react. I think Squid Game Season 2 did just drop yesterday. Did they drop the whole thing? Is the whole thing dropped? Like the entire thing dropped? Oops. Oops. Or do they just do like episode by episode? I'm sure it's trending. Yeah. Shut up. How many episodes did they just drop? Oh, all of it. Well, shit. Excuse me. Pretty divided, yeah. You could do one episode reaction just if you see something. I thought about that. I think I asked people about that, and the vote was kind of 50-50. Because I used to see people that used to do that, and it used to piss me off. But then I thought about doing it myself. Like, I would see people that, like... Again, it's the reaction channel genre. It's like what you do. You're trying to get clicks. You're trying to get views. You're trying to get all that. But like people that have never watched Naruto, don't want to watch Naruto, won't watch Naruto. They'll just react to like Madara versus the 5 Great Nations. Just off rip. No backstory. They don't know anybody's names. They don't even know what chakra is. They don't know abilities. They don't know nothing about nothing. They'll just react to it off rip. They're like, oh, that guy just did XYZ. They're like, oh, what was that, a water technique? Like, they're just out here saying random shit. And I thought about that because it's like, there's some things I may never get to, but like, would it be dope to just watch a random one-off fight of a show? But I feel like it wouldn't hit the same if you don't know like the abilities, the backstories to it, X, Y, Z. But I see people do that all the time. They'll react to a random Jujutsu Kaisen fight with no pre-Jujutsu Kaisen knowledge and no interest in like watching it beyond it, but they'll just watch it. It's like, does it hit the same if I'm just watching a random one-off? I don't know. Oh, just watch the first episode? We could. Like, I'll see people watch, like, Miriam versus Netero just for the reaction of it, and then they fuck off. Yeah. It just, like, it's all over the place. Let's actually, because I know we're Hunter x Hunter focused here, let's, I wanted to fuck with this video real quick, and then we all can kind of watch it at the same time. How long have we been live for? 120? Let me drag this over here. Cool. I want to react to this video. I haven't seen it. I'm sure all of y'all have probably already seen it. Let's check it out though.
Here is everything that happened in the latest batch of Hunter x Hunter chapters covering the Succession Contest arc, being chapter 401 to 410. And right from the get-go, we are hit with an arc-changing revelation that Beyond Netero has fathered a brood of Beyond Neterolets over the past few decades.
So this is going to review everything that we've gotten this year, so I guess this 10 chapters. So it's not going back. Quick little 10-minute recap of what we had. And I actually need the recap of the last little bit of it more, because I haven't watched anything since the last chapter.
Infiltrated the Kakin Empire with these children. The first of which to be formally introduced to us is Longi, 5th Prince to Beppa's guard, and granddaughter of Isaac Netero. Which seems like a big deal, but that title is actually extremely common now, because Beyond has been strategically fathering
There's so many
children
kids
in
out here and
tandem
shit.
with the production of each official prince of the Kakin Empire, with Beyond's children growing up alongside the Kakin princes, and for a very sinister purpose. From the moment of birth, Beyond initiated his children, meaning that he forcibly opens their aura nodes, and the babies had to naturally develop Zetsu in order to survive, making all of his children Nen prodigies by default, but he also left them with the other not-so gift in the form of a
to not
curse
be
under
able
their
to
tongue. And it's suspected that these
it.
curses are directly tied to the individual.
So let's look at this, right? So if you guys are paying attention.
A curse under their tongue. And it's suspected that these curses...
Do we think any of these princes... I mean, of course. There has to be one, right? Do we think there's more than one of these princes that are his child beyond Netero's kid? I would say the ones that have died are probably not, because they would serve no purpose to tell us that later on, unless maybe they are and they somehow resurrect themselves because of abilities and blah, 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 XYZ. But who do we think? Yeah, I think there's definitely some obvious ones. Saridnik for sure. Camilla, maybe. But I'm curious if there's like a sleeper here. Could be Wobble. I feel like Saridnik and Wobble are probably the obvious choices. Saridnik just because nothing needs to be explained. We could spend an hour talking about him and all that. Wobble because you tie Karapika into it. If Wobble is one. You tie that storyline in so quick that now Karapika is now connected to that, which is now connected to Beyond, which just is a whole fucking thing. But what do we think here? 2 max? 2? More than that? Or no? Could be. I've seen people saying Oito could be, and it's not Wobble, it's her. I don't know. Yeah, man, it's tough. To Peppa, yeah. Three max. So let's remove Saridnik. Let's remove like the very, very obvious ones. Saridnik and Wobble. You can't pick those as one of your choices. And I can already eliminate the ones that have died too. So we just took 1, 2, 3, 4 off the board, right? Who is your vote for who is his kid? Cast your vote. Who do we think it is? The leads with Loserus. The only alive twin. Benjamin if he's alive. Halkenberg. Peppa. Camilla. Loserus. Miriam. Benjamin and Halkenberg. Miriam Fugetsu. Yeah. Because I would think, just knowing like Togashi and the way he writes, we got to remove the obvious ones. Remove the 2 that have been killed. Remove Saridnik. Remove Wobble. Take your pick. Oh, God. Part of me wants to just say Camilla. But that also might be on the obvious train. But I just want to say Camilla just because she seems like a piece of shit. So it's like, is she a piece of shit that would be aligned with Beyond? Or is she a piece of shit that would be opposed? Just to see that dynamic. Camilla would probably be my pick. Yeah, Losers probably is. Alright, so we took our votes on that. Let's see what we got.
Are directly tied to the individual princes, meaning that when the time is right, Beyond intends to sacrifice his cursed children to rid himself of the princes they target. And there are at least 10 strong curses theorized to exist which are linked to the lives of a prince, as well as an unknown quantity of weak curses whose effects are currently uncertain. Maybe killing one of them gives the princes a mild headache. But this is why we have so many bodyguards in this arc. They may have seemed pointless, but we have almost certainly been introduced to so many Beyond children that we don't know about yet. And currently suspected to also be the children of Beyond Netero are Bobby Minor, Theta, and Salkov. Bobby
Do
Minor,
we have
because it's
Theta?
implied that he knows something about what Tebeppa
Theta's
and
in that
Arthur have
category?
discussed, and Theta and Salkov because they were the only known Nen users within the 4th Prince's entourage, with Salkov stating that he's been able to use Zetsu since birth.
Oh yeah, he
effectively
was,
confirming
of course.
that he was initiated and that he is also
Do
a
we
grandchild
think
of
Theta
Isaac
is
Nephilim.
for
And
real?
to top it off, Longy
Interesting.
suspects that one of the princes themselves is Beyond's child, and what he set up is a curse to kill every other prince to ensure that his child wins the succession contest. Now, all of this is only made possible because competing princes don't need to be Nasabi's blood relation. The rules specify that to qualify for the succession contest, a person simply needs to be born of one of Nasabi's lawful wives, leading to
Yeah, I would say that this part I didn't like of probably the new batch of 10, that you just had to be birthed by one of his lawful wives. It didn't have to be his actual seed. Now again, that's how you can introduce the Beyond Netero story into it, XYZ, whatever. But I would have liked it to have been kept in that one tight lineage, because now, what are we going to randomly find out? That one of the princes is Ging's child, or Pariston, or somebody random, which it could very well. He's so, like, just something wild and random. But maybe that'll help the story with it being wild and random, who knows?
Don't need to be Nasabi's blood relation. The rules specify that to qualify for the succession contest, a person simply needs to be born of one of Nasabi's lawful wives.
I misread
leading
it
to
back
Beyond
way
Netero's
back
new
then,
name,
so it
Beyond
just kind of
Neterare, and his adventures in the Cucking Empire. But
came
Longy's ultimate goal is to find and
knowledge to
kill
me.
this prince, and to do so, Longy has used a contractual Nen ability to forge an alliance with Karapika, which Tebeppa has also agreed to. And as for Daddy Beyond himself, we catch up with him
He's
briefly
still
in
locked
this
up.
patch, still being held captive and currently being guarded by the Zodiac Kanzai. And Beyond has now asked to see a currently unidentified person. What we can see here is that Beyond has definitely been the most chill of all of the 200,000 people aboard the Black Whale 1. Beyond's now spent 12 days just reading and writing whilst everyone else is fighting for their lives. Speaking of, our next major batch development is that 7th Prince Loserus is now the prime suspect in the gradual decline of 11th Prince Fugetsu. And in order to prevent Fugetsu dying, Kaiser, Melody, and Kacho, the latter of which is actually Nen Beast impersonating Kacho, have decided to assassinate Loserus in the hopes that the Nen curse that he may or may not have placed on Fugetsu will
I don't think he did.
This is a
I think it'd still be
particularly
there
bold maneuver with
if
very
they succeed.
limited evidence, and it's being carried out by 3 people with limited to no experience in the world of assassination.
We don't even know if we
Kacho
could trust
is
this dude.
again an Nen Beast, but also has the persona and knowledge of a preteen girl, whereas Melody, a much older girl, is I suppose the most experienced in this sort of field because she does work in the underworld, but usually in a much
She's not a
greater
killer.
capacity. And
She's not
so
a
the
killer.
red flag to keep an eye on here is Kaiser, a member of the allegedly politically neutral Kakin Justice Bureau. In previous chapters, Kaiser has stated that he is doing this to help Melody because Kaiser has fallen in love with her and is on a mission to acquire some of that melodacy. However, he is very suspicious because he's the one who keeps suggesting all of these drastic courses of action. He's the one who worked out the logistics of how to get Fugetsu into the rooms of
And who is he that he looks exactly like that
of special martial law,
fucks around with Morena? I get him and the Morena dude
spent most
confused.
of this batch trying to work out what his guardian spirit beast does, fiddling with his coins, etc., and even summoned Kurapika to provide his Nen hypothesis. And Kurapika has deduced that the coins are part of a Nen awakening ability that in stages awaken a holder's aura node and eventually grants them an ability after the coin has been held for a certain amount of time. He also believes that there's some pseudo-coercive manipulation involved in this, and so the people with coins end
Isn't his ability just Morena's contagion without having to, with not as murderous of an intent? She sits you down, she gets you to commit to the cause, you play the game, you level up, you get your abilities, XYZ. Is his not the exact same thing? Giving you this coin that you hold on that will unlock this ability that you can then use and
eventually grants them an
Kenny
ability
Wang, that's
after the
right,
coin
Kenny
has been
Wang.
held for a certain amount of time. He also believes that there's some pseudo-coercive manipulation involved in this, and so the people with coins end up being semi-forced to be loyal to Zanglei, which I guess we may or may not find out in a bit because Kurapika has
You're
now been
forced to be
addicted to all of
loyal,
these
you
coins,
can't go
which
against her
may
with the
become a
game,
more
I'm
important
granting
down
you
the
an
line,
ability,
or not.
you can then go
Because
get
if
your
this
ability.
hypothesis is correct, then Zanglei's Guardian Spirit Beast is more or less useless for the duration of the contest because it takes an estimated 6 months of holding onto a coin just to achieve the aura awakening function. And
You're
the
getting to
voyage
awaken
the
your
console
aura
in total
and
is 2 months. But the contest is looking like it could end even sooner than that. And so by the end of this batch, Zanglei has had to flee down to tier 2 due to First Prince Benjamin calling special martial law and exuding his intention to kill the other princes, which does put Zanglei in big danger of being picked off for 50 slight levels by the Haoli family, who do have a presence on tier 2. However, the most central prince to this batch is the Hulkenberg plotline. In order to combat an assassination plan concocted by Balsamilko Might, one of First Prince Benjamin's soldiers.
So when you guys read that the first time, off rip, were we all under the impression, before you got to the end of it and you really kind of like saw and examined it, did we all think that that was Hulkenberg possessing his body or no? Were we all under that impression, or was that like a just me thing? I don't know. Because it's the way that it had been set up for chapters after chapters after chapters. And then we catch up with him and we see his inner monologue going through. He's like, oh, I've got X amount of time. I got to do X, Y, Z. Just by default to me, it was like, oh, fuck. Like, Hulkenberg's in there. And then, you know, people tell me after the fact, and I go back and reread. I'm like, oh, he's not. So then where is... Are we still in here? Like, where are we? Yeah, and I think we see, and then you see, it was confusing to me.
Ninth Prince Hulkenberg set up a trap for Might and fired his arrow Nen ability, Grimmel Les Dissonances, which by pure chance swapped Hulkenberg's soul with Might's. So Hulkenberg is now in Balsamilko Might's body, Might is now in his body, or was, because Hulkenberg's first act in his new body was to kill his old body. Hulkenberg used an agent known as TSK-17, which is what Might was planning to kill Hulkenberg with, and with that in mind, I suppose...
Yeah, because even when he started talking about his child... I was like, oh, Hulkenberg's trying to like really set it up. Like he's got a child we don't know about that he's trying to like make sure everything's written and given off to him. I was like, oh, he's really going for it here. And then everyone was like, no, that's Benjamin. He's the one with the child and everything. I was like, oh, okay.
Pretty much to plan, because Hulkenberg in Might's body used it on his original body, which ended up dying. And this led to the announcement of the Ninth Prince's death, even though his soul lingers on elsewhere. But a funeral procession was then organized to honor him. The tricky thing is that with the death of Hulkenberg's body, Balsamilko's Might's soul has returned to his original body, meaning that Hulkenberg and Might now have to share that body. And to combat this, Hulkenberg
is give him some sleeping pills,
subdued, and now has very limited time to enact his plan to win the succession contest.
So here's my thing, though. It's like,
but it is not the last we hear of him. More on that in a bit.
That's the last we see of him. He's battling in the body, but even if he keeps popping the pills, he won't be able to continue to have control over that body. And then we also know that it is not Halkenberg that is inside Benjamin's body. Everyone's saying it is actually Benjamin. So if that's Benjamin and his soul is Benjamin, Balsa ends up taking back over his body. Where... Now, maybe we'll see that. Where is Halkenberg floating off to? Is he just ceasing to exist? Where is that man at? I don't know.
Firstly, to catch up with 4th Prince Tsaradnik, he spent this entire batch undergoing intense Zetsu training, with the idea being that he needs to get his Zetsu entry time down to a second or less, which is because his personal Hatsu parallel future activates when engaged in Zetsu, and if Tsaradnik can achieve that state in less than a second, then he can functionally blink, then experience 10 seconds of the future, and adjust accordingly without putting himself in any real danger. And he is getting extremely close to that goal. The last time we saw Tsaradnik, his personal best was at 3.496 seconds, and quite a bit of time has passed.
I'm curious where you guys think on this.
He may very well have now refined his Zetsu and is ready to have fun, which is the way that he put.
Would you be disappointed? Because like Tsaradnik has been built up this entire arc, right? He's the one that instructed the troop to get the eyes, or maybe it was a misunderstanding and it was him all along, and maybe he's beyond Netero's kid and it's XYZ and he's got this crazy ability and blah 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 blah. I would love to see him run into like one serious Nen user and get instantly 2-tapped. That's just me though. I would love to see that. I personally think he has a bigger part to play in the entire story, that probably wouldn't happen. But I would just love to see that. Or not only does he get 2-tapped, Chrollo just plucks the fuck out of it. Again, the specifics on that and the information Chrollo would have to know and do XYZ. I get it. But I would just love something along those lines. I don't think we'll get that, but that just would be entertaining to me.
Although by the end of the batch, Benjamin is now framing Tsaradnik as being the mastermind behind a biological attack aboard the Black Whale 1. And look, Tsaradnik is guilty of many horrible, terrible, disgusting crimes.
But then so does
isn't one of
Halkenberg just stay sleeping inside his body at all times, or what?
Which has apparently succeeded, as Tsaradnik is one of 5 princes who have been secured, although I doubt it's going to stay that way. Elsewhere on Tier 1, we were favored by Togashi, who
I think Tsaradnik has too big of a part to play to get instantly 2-tapped or have his ability stolen. He could have his ability stolen and still have a part to play.
To be a pretty normal guy who isn't interested in weird kinks like fighting ants or getting involved in group abilities. Hisoka's just a chill guy looking for someone to love one-on-one. Although in lieu of that, he also mentions that solitaire is also an option, which may be a clever hint that Hisoka has seen Benolanov, who is now also on Tier 1 and was impersonating Hisoka. So the idea could be that Hisoka is now interested in playing with himself, as Benolanov is of course a Phantom Troop member who is on Hisoka's hit list. Or booty call contacts, I don't know, whatever he called it. In regards to Benolanov, Henry and Zakuro have discovered the corpse of
Zakuro gets the shit killed out of her.
Previously killed whilst disguised as Hisoka, which has resulted in very not good things.
And instantly gets fucking
pretty quickly
plot
figured out
found.
that this was likely the Phantom Troop, and to vow to take revenge on the troop, or at the very least Benolanov, for killing Lynch. And this is very problematic because Henry and Zakuro belong to the GU.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Chrollo just yoinking his
had
ability.
An alliance with the Phantom Troop against Morena Prudhoe. So now it's starting to look like.
Oh, do they just give back control? One sleeps, one control, one sleeps,
However,
one
the big
control.
boss of the Phantom Troop himself, Chrollo, gets some focus in this batch, and
But
he has a new
is that the
Nen
case
ability.
though? If Halkenberg takes over somebody's body, when they like naturally go to sleep, he just takes over. Are they ever aware of that, or it's just Halkenberg that's aware of that? Do they actually truly think that they're just sleeping the entire time, or do they feel like their soul is jockeying back and forth? Is there any way you can expel him? I feel like they never really gave us the deep dive on that. It was just like Halkenberg has experimented with his ability X amount of times, and this is what he believes, and this is what he's going with. He crashed course that ability so fast that I don't even know if he knows all of it. Yeah, I don't know if I want Benolanov to die either. Yeah, but I'm also curious to see, like Gabriel, you're saying like Chrollo won't be able to do it. It's kind of like a stockpile thing, like in My Hero, where there's so many. You have characters that can steal abilities or copy abilities, but like you can't copy the all for one because it stockpiles and takes things. But if you steal the container that is the stockpile, but the container is empty, it's like, what do you do with it? Same thing here. It's like, what could Chrollo do with it? But I would like to see when Chrollo achieves this, like, final heist, what he might be able to copy. Like the restrictions that may be lifted on what he can and can't copy. I don't know.
Called Love Dial, which he's using to search for a particular person. We don't know for sure who this person is at this point, and due to the nature of Chrollo's ability and his goal, it's entirely possible that he doesn't even know who he's looking for yet either.
Yeah.
And that's because Chrollo is searching for one of the 3 Karkin relics, which are the items currently facilitating and governing the succession contest. We have the Seed Urn, which confirms entry to the contest and provides the Guardian Spirit Piece, but we also have the Lotus Anchorite, which enforces the rules of the contest, and the Sword of Accession, which is assumedly used to end the contest and officially crown the winner. And Chrollo cares about these artifacts because he has set himself a new condition with Skill Hunter, which is that he needs to steal a national treasure. And clearing this condition will allegedly allow Chrollo to steal a Nen ability that is capable of killing Hisoka and actually having him stay dead this time. However, it should be noted that disturbing any one of these artifacts could result in devastating changes to the contest
also
itself.
True.
Not that Chrollo cares, but we do, and it's probably going to lead to not amazing things happening in the future. We also discover one of the men behind Sarasa's murder and kidnapping has since died. His name was Mr. Riznor. We saw him abducting Sarasa in the Phantom Troop flashback.
Like, imagine Chrollo steals the one that like enforces the rules of keeping them on the ship.
The hands of the troop who have since taken
and everybody knows, everyone's been told like, oh, we can't leave. We saw what happened to Kacho and Fugetsu. They're like, fuck it, I don't care, and they leave and they fall. They're like, oh shit, I didn't die. That could be kind of crazy.
Which is that someone within the Chara family is assisting them, which we know at this point is Chara underboss Kenny Wang.
I get Kenny and the one that likes Melody
Nobunaga
confused.
versus Kenny Wang fight battle incoming. And meanwhile, Finks and Feitan
What's
are
the
on
one
their
that
way to
is
raid
following
the
Melody?
base,
What's his name?
which is actually where we spend a fair chunk of time in this batch, because the main focal point is an event called the Negotiation Game. Borkson, a Karkin soldier with connections to the Fourth Prince and his childhood friends, was abducted by the Hailey family and invited to join them, with that decision being made through a Nen card game. And from here, one whole chapter is dedicated almost to...
Do you think Chrollo ends up canceling the succession war? Kaiser. So you have Kaiser and Kenny Wang that look like the same person to me. I don't think he'll end up canceling it. I think the succession will happen, but I do think that he could drastically change the rules. And like, they don't even know what the rules may be until they kind of do something that they thought they couldn't do. We'll see.
Exclusively to explaining the rules of the game. Borkson takes a lot of time to ensure that Morena will not cheat during the game, which is ironic considering what happened shortly thereafter. And through this game, we learn that Morena isn't the first Morena Prudo, and that this is an identity that this figure has stolen to commandeer the Hailey family for her own purposes. Morena's backstory is then further explained, which is that she is the child of a Karkin non-consensual festival, and from birth was classified as, quote, meat, and passed around the underworld until she eventually took Morena's identity and implemented her revenge plot, which, to be clear, she is aiming to destroy the entire Karkin Empire and then afterwards the world, because why not? But Morena was still missing one integral element for her plan.
She needs
and
that specialist.
element could be Borkson, or not Borkson specifically, but Morena needs to recruit a Nen specialist, which Borkson is confirmed to be after her affinity was sniffed out
With
by
old
a
dog boy.
man. And so the whole premise of this game was to make Borkson give a Nen binding answer as to whether or not she would join the Hailey family and pursue their goals. However,
It's a
Borkson
lose-lose.
ends up cheating, which invalidates the game and leaves her with only 2 options being yes or no. And Borkson chose yes because choosing no would have meant instantly being killed. And now Borkson's goal is to kill the Hailey family in its entirety, or just Morena herself, in order to escape the contagion ability. However, this batch ends in an even more dramatic some way.
And then
As
here we
first
go.
Prince Benjamin has now declared special martial law, and he's done so after being infected with TSK-17, which assumedly Hulkenberg did whilst in Balsamilkomite's body. We don't know exactly what went down yet, but from Benjamin's perspective,
I hate that we
his
didn't get
death
the
is now
details of that.
guaranteed. And it is his goal to win the succession contest within the next 10 hours before he falls into a coma, and officially name his child as the next king of the Karkin Empire. And in his quest to do this, half of the princes have now been secured, with the missing princes confirmed to be Zanglei and Lucerus, but further missing princes are also likely to be Mariam and Fugetsu due to the nature of their guardian spirit beast.
Mariam's ability is so dope.
And capture.
We don't get
this
screen
batch
time
concludes
with him,
with
but
Benjamin confronting Botabai, Mizai, Stom, and Kaiser at the Justice Bureau, with the 3 of them realizing that something isn't quite right with Mr. Benjamin, and so they're now coming up with their own plans to stall him as we go on to enter the next and likely final phase of both the succession contest and this arc as a whole.
I will tell you right now, I'll be very... I mean, and they kind of did it to us already. I'd be highly upset if we don't hit the ground running. When we do come back with that. I want us to pick up right there. Don't delay me, don't show me anything else, like just go. And they've also made it like, I mean, everything is under a time crunch right now. But now you've made it even more. But again, it's manga, it's anime time. We could have 10 chapters that don't even touch Benjamin and have had no time passed, and then pick back up with him and be like, he's got 9 hours to go, and we got 9 chapters that covered no time at all, just because you're getting different time POVs. But you have added a sense of urgency to it with him knowing, like, I don't have that long to live, but like 10 hours in manga and anime time, it could take 3 years for us to get to that. It could take that long. So yeah, I think we do get like 30 to 50 chapters of martial law just for only like 5 hours of real time to actually pass. Yeah, we don't know a lot. Yeah, it's very Palace Invasion 2.0 in my opinion. Just the feel of it. Yeah, it's gonna be a mess. And the thing is, there are so many POVs that you could do that. We could go 50 plus chapters with damn near a new character and not even circle back around to Benjamin. All of the people in Morena's game that we've already seen on screen, all the other different like mafia factions and the characters that they have in theirs, the princes and their connection, the troop and their connection, Hisoka, everything else going on. You could give every one of those factions and characters and groups screen time and have maybe 1 hour have passed by the time you circle back around to Benjamin, but that could literally cover tens of 20s of 50s plus chapters. So I'll just wait. I'll wait to see. Do we have any? What's the current update on? Yeah, we do have the Illumium. There's so much. There's so much. Oh my gosh. There's so much going on right now. I don't even want to get into it. Don't even want to get into it all. Do we have any other like burning questions? How long we've been going for? An hour 46? We'll probably try to go for another 15 minutes or so. Do you guys have any Hunter x Hunter manga like questions, theories, comments, concerns? 100%. 100% I think Illumi and Kaluto are traitors. But the thing is, like, we see, I mean, that's Illumi and his family and Kaluto and all that. We see them always doing this, like, I backstab, but then I backstab again, but then I'm actually working for myself, but I'm actually helping Hisoka, but I'm actually doing this. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing them put some skin in the game. I wouldn't mind seeing one of the Zoldycks die here, just to be like, you're not just gonna freely run around in this story backstabbing and helping whoever in XYZ and taking money to do XYZ, and then just get to like skip on back to your mountain and live how you want to live. I wouldn't mind seeing. I think Illumi would probably have a bigger picture to play, especially if you ever want to bring Killua back into the story. I wouldn't mind seeing Kaluto die, just to be like, this is the game, this is the world, this is the life that you're in. To just keep backstabbing and doing XYZ and backstabbing and then just like no consequences. That's just my opinion. I don't know, that's what he was. He wanted the sister or brother. Now he's here. Yeah, Beyond said he has someone to meet. We don't know who that person is. So yeah, it's just, so what is, so as of December 27th, What is the current manga update? There's been no hints at chapters resuming in X month, is there? Is there anything on a head count? I don't think we've gotten Hunter x Hunter chapters will resume in February or March. I don't think there's been any resume date. Do we have a batch number date of what we can expect for 2025, or we don't have that either? Other than that, he's got some in the chamber ready to go, and we'll get them when we get them. Bitten by hell? I guess they could. Yeah, I would like to see... I'd be fine with that too. If Illumi dies, he dies. I'd like to see the Zoldycks, like, pay a little bit of a price here. Will they? I don't know. Okay, so we're kind of... So we know that there's a couple chapters ready, but we're kind of like... We're on a straight up hiatus, right? We're on a break. We're on a hiatus, correct? We've been left in the dark. We got cut off, pretty much, is where I feel like we're at right now at the moment. It's promising, if you look at the last 2 years with the amount of chapters that we've gotten and where we just kind of left off. There has been no, like, oh, Tagashi came down with his health issue or XYZ. It seems like we're in a good space, but we are on a we're on a hiatus at the moment. I'd be curious to see, what do you guys think by... Let's see. We can pull it up here. Go over here real quick. Pull that up. Do we think... Do we get chapter... Do you guys think we get any kind of update or announcement by Valentine's Day, or that's too soon? That's about 6-ish weeks from now. Yes or no? The optimist in me wants to say yes. Really? I don't think we do. Oh, you think we're back by Valentine's Day? Woo, okay. Yeah, you can ask whatever. It doesn't. If y'all have any questions, it doesn't have to be Hunter x Hunter related. It could be whatever. So some think we'll be back by then. Some things will have announcements by then, and some think it's too soon. An update? I would think we're still left in the dark by then. April, May, or October? God, that would suck. If people want to see Squid Games, I consider it. I consider it. What do y'all think the chances are we don't get any chapters in 2025? 50-50 shot or no? No shot? Like a 1% chance there's no way we don't get chapters? Or do we think it's straight up like 50-50, like, hey, shit could happen. Like, we could have not shit. Is it possible or no? Y'all got faith? We got any believers in the chat? Or what? 20%? 20%, 10%? 0%? Oh, Sherv is locked in. Says there's no way we don't get chapters. Alright. We got some believers in the chat. Unless he passes away. Yeah, I think the last couple years have gained back a lot of trust. but there's still some of us, not me because I wasn't really on it in that time, but there's still a lot of you out there that remember what the long night was when winter was here. The kids don't know about it these days. I'm included in those kids. Of when you went years without an update, without a whisper of a chapter. The new wave is kind of like, yeah, I know we've been on hiatus before, but this is pretty great. So there's a lot of truthers out there. But some of y'all forget the cold nights. But I will say though, the activity on Twitter is promising, and unfortunately, I do feel like the Toriyama's passing seemed to have sparked. I don't want to say determination. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it seemed to have sparked a lot of. Okay, we kind of got to lock in for not just Togashi, but a lot of people kind of like across the anime and manga landscape. Just because you never know. Yeah, Trev, we've been going for an hour and 55 minutes. Oof, that's tough. I don't know what George is doing, to be honest. And the thing is, like, because they keep pumping out, like, Game of Thrones spin-offs and shit, it kind of, like, gives them an excuse of, like, well, you are getting Game of Thrones content. Yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Creator passed away, too. Yeah, Toriyama's passing seemed to have kind of made Togashi kind of like sit up straight a little bit, like, okay, like, and that could be me, you know, and I'd hate to leave it, but we talked about it, Trav. I think in my time, in my life, I don't think there will be a Hunter x Hunter anime continuation from like Hisoka Chrollo fight on. Now, I'd love to be shocked. Would love to be. But there's just, we kind of went over it in the first hour of just giving a rough estimate of like, let's say the Succession arc has like 100 chapters more to go, right? I'm saying fully getting through it all. We find out the winner, or maybe there's a way to completely stop it, so not all the princes have to die. Whatever happens with the troop and Hisoka, beyond Netero, all of it, just put all of it in there, would take 100 chapters, right? In my opinion, the Dark Continent would take minimum double. That's just me. Some people think it would be shorter. In my opinion, it'd be double. So we're talking 200 to 300 plus chapters for the Dark Continent. And then whatever he wants to continue after the fact. I just can't see it continuing, the anime picking back up, while he's also trying to like expand on another 300 plus chapters. Now you guys know where I stand on that. I personally think he should give all drawing, writing, animation duties off, fully oversee and just storytell. And I feel like Hunter x Hunter could just kill the anime and manga space, would take over, in my opinion. It would be top of the top. He's getting content pumped out because all he's having to do is tell it and not write it. The anime picks back up and he's overseeing it, trimming off the fat of how deep and dense some of this Succession War arc is. And you just have the anime going at the same time. Honestly, a One Piece type situation. But I don't think he'll ever give up that creativity. And we will kind of be just kind of where we're at right now. Hoping for a continuous 10 chapters a year. See how it goes. And we just kind of take what we get and be happy with it. That's kind of where I'm at. So yeah. Yeah, and it's so wild that like a lot of the best mangas kind of, and it really sucks though, because like you have these amazing stories and then it's just never finished. Yeah, if we get 20 chapters, I'd start being a believer. Right now, this little bit of like 10 or so it's pushing it. What am I excited for the rest of the arc? I want to see what Saraidnik's storyline is. And I want to see the part that Chrollo has to play. Like, is there no greater part for Chrollo and Hisoka? Like, they're just meant to battle it out and maybe just equally kill each other, one of them survives. Because, like, what's the point of what does their story serve past just one another? Chrollo is one of my preferred characters. I have no interest in Hisoka, don't enjoy him as a character, nothing about it. But I'd like to think that they would be involved more than that, but maybe there is no more to the two of their characters other than fighting it out. So Rydnik's story to play, just the other abilities that we may or may not see. And just kind of how all that goes. Is it impossible for Hunter x Hunter to have a One Piece situation? It's definitely getting more than Berserk, which is sad. Berserk is just like pity giving us like one chapter a year. I feel like so much has to happen for them to land on the island. Yeah, I'm ready to see Sir Rydnik in action, even though I'd love to see him get one-tapped by someone that's actually about that Nen life. But again, I think Sir Rydnik has a bigger story to play. Now, I still think you can have Sir Rydnik have a story to play if you have him get one-tapped by Chrollo and just yoinks his ability. Now, I know Chrollo might not have the facilities to copy the ability perfectly right now. But if he steals one of those artifacts, who knows what condition may be unlocked for him to be able to steal and do XYZ. Yeah, I don't know. The Vagabond stuff is pretty depressing too, but everything's just kind of left. Surrounding the future chairman? Shit, would they even allow that? Alright, we'll take like the last 5 or 10 minutes. If y'all have any questions, Hunter x Hunter or non-Hunter x Hunter related, let me know. We just hit 2 hours. We've been hanging out. I think we've been holding like 15 to 20 viewers the whole time, 140 peak. It's been a pretty solid stream. I don't know when was the last time we streamed? We streamed this year, right? 10 months ago. Oh shit. Jujutsu Kaisen wrapped up 10 months ago. Holy shit. Damn. But yeah, we'll spend the last, 10:05? We'll take the next like 10 minutes. If you guys have any questions, Hunter x Hunter related, or anything related. It's open board. We're fielding all questions. Actually, Keith, I think Kurapika will be a complete de-evolution like Eren. I think so. I don't think it will be a redemption. I think it'll be just a complete shift. The story will end up being so much bigger for Kurapika than just, I gotta get redemption for my clan. To where it was like with Eren was like, just destroy everything outside the wall. I feel it'll be so much bigger than that. Oh, that's right. Phantom Troop predictions and Prince predictions. Jeez. I think Bonolanov is just like the easy pick, which seems like a cop-out to take. Bonolanov seems like the easy pick. Chrollo seems like, okay, that's not going to happen. So where would it fall? Shit. If we can't go Bonolanov, I'm gonna put Sphinx. Sphinx would be my next troop member. I was gonna say Nobunaga, but we still haven't even gotten Nobunaga's ability. That I feel like there's no way you've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And is he the only troop member that we don't have his ability? I guess Machi as well, but we've seen what Machi can do, but I don't know what that looks like from a battle standpoint. I feel like there's no way you introduce Nobunaga's ability after so long just to like then kill him within the same like batch of chapters. So I'm just going to randomly pick Sphinx. As far as the Prince goes, can't say Benjamin because he does seem like he is going to die in a handful of hours, so that's a cop-out. I think Melody and Homeboy fail to kill Loserus. So who do we think it's going to be? Camilla essentially can't die. It's not going to be Sir Rydnik. I think Halkenberg and Benjamin, we just can't count them. I think Tupepa. I think Sphinx and Tupepa will be my two guesses. Tupepa just because like she's come around and wanted to like start this alliance and help me, help you, help us. And before that can even get into motion, Kurapika's like, okay, we have somebody on our side. They might look after us, help us. She just gets taken out before that can even fully transform. So those would be my two picks. No other random reasonings behind it. We're just shooting names. We're just shooting names. JoJo's Part 3. JoJo's Part 3 is pretty great. I'm enjoying it. It's been my favorite part so far, but that might be a cop-out because of the Stan's introduction. I feel like that'd be anybody's favorite part. Jotaro is not my favorite JoJo. I actually don't even enjoy him at all. But I am enjoying it a lot. I'll be curious to see how it plays out. Do you plan on checking out? I do. We're going to react to it. So if you guys are just getting here, the plan for 2025 is to react to the new kind of like hip things when they drop. Because if you guys have been here for a while, you know the dream is to make the YouTube like a full-time thing one day. Will it ever be? I don't know. We've been pumping out the content for like a decade now. We went from like, oh, a couple times a week to now it's 7 days a week. We're pumping out content. It's like 4 to 7 days on Patreon. Started the TikTok this year. Tried to do the thumbnails XYZ. But I feel like if you want to like do the YouTube thing or anything, you kind of have to react to like trendy things. We should have react to Avatar live action when it came out. We should have done Solo Leveling. We should have done the Dawn. We should have done everything else when it came out. So my goal for 2025, even though we're swamped with reactions of like One Piece not ending anytime soon, JoJo's, Yu Yu, none of that is ending anytime soon. I feel like you have to make time to react to the trendy things that come out. So anything that's going to be coming out next year, we will be reacting to. Now, of course, if it's like a season 1 or something of something that I've already seen, I'm not going to react to a random season 3 of something that I haven't watched, but that's going to be the plan. Yeah, I prefer Kurapika going off the deep end too. Is Hisoka surviving? Personally, I don't see the point of Hisoka's character, so I would say no, Hisoka's not. Because, like, what purpose do you serve? Unless you somehow want to show that, like, Kurapika and Hisoka have had a previous relationship and helping each other out, but then maybe you come to find out that Hisoka used to work with Tsurayunik and it helped slaughter the Kurta clan, and then it pins, like, Kurapika against Hisoka, maybe? But I just don't see the purpose that Hisoka's character really serves, so, like, killing Hisoka would be fine with me. So is Hisoka surviving? I would say no, but I could see the story wanting to have Hisoka involved in some way. I don't know. Yeah, and I feel like it's too obvious to like have Chrollo die because they know they say like, oh, the spiders continue. It's not just me, you know, replace the legs, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like there's so much to Chrollo's character that it's tough. Do you think Marina will go out of the ship or die there? Marina dies on this ship 100%. Marina dies. By who? I don't know. I think it would be kind of sweet if it is, oh god, what's the girl's name that she just did the game with? I forget her name. I think it would be kind of sweet if she took her out. I definitely do feel like we'll see Nobunaga in action soon. We should. I think he's the only troop member we don't know his ability correct. I can see it being Phaeton or Sphinx. One of those two dying. Yeah, I see them speed running Benjamin. Like, here's his beast, here's what it does. Okay, see ya, he's dead. Yeah, Jotaro's kind of whatever. Jonathan's my favorite, then Joseph, then Jotaro in that order. I guess, you know, part 1, part 2, part 3. Yeah, I could see, like, looking out of it, enjoying Jotaro, but in it, I just hope that the whole Hisoka gone storyline isn't even a thing anymore. I don't think Chrollo dies either. Yeah, we'll definitely watch the Vigilantes thing for My Hero for sure. Borkson. I knew it started with a B, I just couldn't remember her name. I think it'd be kind of bittersweet if Borkson ends up killing Marin on the ship. I don't know how or how they go about that, but yeah. Chrollo reveals he's got the same type of banana as Hisoka. Yeah, it's... How many Nen Beast have we not seen what they do? Is it just Benjamin's? Wobble. Have we seen Wobble produce a Nen Beast? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a close tie between like Joseph and Jonathan being my two favorite. The thing is, what's so wild is like Joseph is such a big like part of, well, not big part, but he's heavily involved in part 3, but it doesn't even feel like the same character. Benjamin and Wobble, okay. I don't know if we know what Losers' Beast does either. I'm not sure. But we've never even seen Wobble's Nen Beast, correct? Like, no, I don't even think any Nen user has commented on seeing it, nor has us as a viewer ever seen it, correct? I don't think we have. Okay, we have seen Losers as Nen Beast. Okay, we have seen it, but we don't know what it does. Okay. So we've definitely seen it, we just don't know what it does. Yeah, okay. Losers' Bardic Spirit is a conjured with a semi-compulsory type manipulator ability. And do we think that that possibly could be what he's putting on the princess? I don't know if we've seen that or not. Nothing. Yeah, we've gotten nothing on Wobble. It'd probably be more storytelling and less world building, Mr. 101, in my opinion. Plants traps and uses desires as bait. Oh, Camilla, yeah, because Camilla's cat revival is just her Nen, right? I don't think we've ever seen. I don't think we've seen hers at all either. Karapika reacted to the aura once. Yeah, Karapika essentially is the stand. Watch Wobble's Nen Beast be the most like broken, disgusting shit. But it only is gonna get like one good use out of it because Wobble has like no Nen control, no aura pool, no nothing. But like when it feels that Wobble is in like the extreme 10 out of 10, 100% danger, it like appears, does its thing, and then just completely just gone. Like a one-time like Aluka, Nanika reset button. Ought to be the most busted shit. Now, it'd be curious, like, would the story continue to allow Wobble to, like, live and grow older, and maybe he wins, and it's like, what could that ability turn into? I don't know. Stands really are great. Stands are pretty great. And I think what makes it more great is, like, just how bad the Hammond or Hammond was, that, like, it's pretty great. It's, essentially, it's just Hunter x Hunter to me. You're just creating your stand of like whatever your affinity is, whatever what you want it to be. The possibilities seem endless, honestly. It's just chakra and nen to me. You can form your chakra ability to be whatever you want it to be. Your ninjutsu could be endless. If I could bring any One Piece character in, Robin. It would be Robin. She seems to be, at least as far as I've gotten in the story right now with One Piece, there's still so many characters I could be introduced to that may be even better. But she seems to be, of the Straw Hat crew and everybody, she seems to be the most aware, the most locked in, the most detailed, the most critical thinker, that I would like to see her in that atmosphere. Yeah, but don't you need a level of aura to still have the beast to like do its thing? It can't just eat off of you on empty, can it? Yeah, Robin would be my pick. She seems to be the only one that could, like, survive in this. Now, of course, you're going to have, like, your just raw, put your head down enhancers, like Luffy or Zoro or something that probably could be busted, but we already know that it's not a very put your head down and just kind of, like, bang your head up against the wall universe. Now, it could get to that point. Naruto wasn't always like that either. You had to have some tactician to you. You know, you had to be like a Kid Neji or a Shikamaru or something like that to where, like, okay, I don't have a tailed beast inside of me, but I could still out chess maneuver you. Now, towards the end of Naruto, that wasn't the case. It did turn out to be, you know, destiny and raw power, god-like stuff. And Hunter x Hunter could turn into that by the time all of this is over. To where all of this, like, chess move Pokemon battle, I know how to manipulate Nen, I counter you, you're fire, I'm water, blah blah blah. It could turn into just this busted dark continent comeback and you're just the reincarnation of whatever. But until that point, you need some of this. I haven't done the Nen category quiz. Yeah, because we've seen the beast kind of zap aura, and then the beast can't summon if there's no aura at the moment, right? In my opinion, I don't know, I could have that wrong. Yeah. So I think Wobble clearly probably has the least amount of aura, given he's a damn baby. But I do think we'll see Wobbles and then Beast go crazy for like one good get out of jail free card, and then like never see it used again just because of how drained it'll make Wobble. So I don't know what that ability will be. Maybe Saraidnik hits us with some like rewind. Maybe Kurapika gets the jump on him and Saraidnik hits us with some rewind shit. He's like psych and uses that moment to do something to Wobble, and Wobble Spirit Beast just goes crazy. And we never see it again. Because maybe Wobble ends up winning, he goes on about his life, doesn't need the Spirit Beast, whatever, but... Or Wobble's a girl, I don't know. Maybe Wobble is a girl. Yeah, we don't even know what Benjamin's Spirit Beast does. So I'm hoping we'll get all that, but... you never know. We'll see. We'll give it like another 5 minutes if you guys have any other questions and stuff, and we'll wrap it up. I'm glad we were able to get this in. It's probably the best stream we've had in a while. Trying to think which one that had some good action to it. The anime tier list did. Yeah, the last time we did a Hunter x Hunter discussion, it got pretty good as well. But yeah, we've been holding like 20 viewers is pretty solid, especially since we haven't streamed it. It's a Friday, maybe it's a Friday night on winter break. I don't know, the demographic is like how many of you are in school, grown, or what, but it's been a pretty solid Friday night. We just hanging out, shooting the shit. Hunter x Hunter movies, we could, if that's what people want to see. Yeah, we'll be on the... anything that's going to be trending or popular next year that we've already seen or will be a season 1 or something that like I know of, we will be reacting to. That's the plan. Of course, like, because I know Bleach is going on right now. Of course, like, if Bleach releases a new season, I'm not going to jump into that because I'm 500 plus episodes behind. But anything that's going to be trendy, we'll be making an effort to react to, for sure. That'll be the plan. We'll get back on the TikTok. We'll get that going. And that'll be the vibe. That'll be the vibe. Any final questions, comments, concerns out there in the streets? Anything Hunter x Hunter or non-Hunter x Hunter related? I think everybody would like to be a specialist of some kind, right? Just endless possibilities. But let's say by default, that's what we'll end it off with. Yeah, solo level, like all that. If you guys could pick... we'll end it on this. If you could pick your Nen affinity. Can't choose specialist because it's just cheating. What would you choose? And a quick why. We'll end it off that. Everybody give me what you got. And if, of course, if you had other questions, feel free to ask them, but let me hear what you got. Let me hear what you got. Oh, it is. I didn't know it was a prequel. Hunter x Hunter, I think, is in my top 5. Mr. Shona, I think it's Attack on Titan. Death Note. I think Hunter x Hunter might be 3, actually. Enhancer, transmuter, okay. What do you think you would transmute? What would you do with that enhancer ability? Conjurer? I'd like to think I'd be under Conjurer as well. What I would conjure, I'm not sure. Conjurer, and I also think Manipulator as well. Something in those lines. Transmute water. Yeah, I think like... Oh, it's tough. Because I feel like if you were just like in our world and you weren't having to go against other people, like you were just a one-off, like random, like Hancock, Superman hero, I feel like Enhancer would just... like being able to just be strong, fast, maybe jump high enough to even mimic flight would just be... I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're an enhancer and you're the only one that knows and you just go into UFC. Yeah. Or I manipulate the sports books to put things at lines that I can bet on. Solid. I conjure certain sports referees to ref games, but people think they're real and they vanish after a 24-hour period. So they get the call. I conjure referees and they hold like a 12-month span before they fully give out, but they take all commands. And I don't even have to make actual contact with them. It's all yeah, like Razor, honestly. They already know. What would you guys put, True. What would you guys put Clap Boy's, I forget his name, from Jujutsu Kaisen. What would you put that under Nen ability-wise? Being able to swap places with things. Am I manipulating that? Toto, what would you put that under? What would you put Toto's ability if you could put it under a category? Specialist? Yeah, it probably is specialist. I was trying to think if it could go something that wasn't specialist, but probably not. No, it had to, I don't think it could go into anything else but specialist. Could be a mission. And I thought manipulator as well. Because, like, if he was able to emit something or conjure something and then have the ability to switch places with anything he conjures, that could be dope. Then I could see you putting that under ability. But if he was able to switch places with anything, nothing affected by his Nen, he could just switch places with you, switch places with me. We have no Nen connection to him. I think that would have to go under specialist, because how are you controlling other things, other people? But if he was able to conjure something or emit something and be able to trade places with it, maybe, but... yeah. Yeah, it'd probably have to be a mission. Like, what are we putting... You know, Nove kind of, like, creates his, like, black hole warp gate. Like, chop a head off and, like, instantly close it. What are we putting that under? Because Nove is conjuring his hotel. I don't know. Now we start getting into it, and he conjures space. Jesus, that's busted as fuck. I don't know. Should we look it up before we log off here? Nove Nen type. What's the internet saying? A mission. Despite being a conjurer, Nove might be able to use a mission the type opposite to his to a certain degree, as his portals are made of pure aura detached from his body, since both the portals and Scream require him to alter the shape of his aura. I don't know, that shit's confusing, bro. It's really confusing, I'm not gonna lie. Is an emitter? It's a lot. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. It's a lot, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the ability is so deep, because then what? But he's conjuring the. But he's conjuring. He's a known emitter, and since both the portals of Scream require him to alter the shape of his aura, he may have some proficiency in transmutation as well. But what about the hide and seek? Should he? Is that conjuring? On that occasion, he demonstrates the capacity to activate his Nen abilities at extreme speeds. Shinigami hailed his hide and seek ability as an extremely convenient rarity. Yeah, what is this under? The little, like, hotel he makes. He's emitting that? He's not conjuring it? Nove can set up and open a portal leading to an artificial Nen dimension with maximum number of entrances. Each room is completely separate from the other. I don't know. They have him all under emitting. I don't know how any of that isn't conjuring, but what do I know? What do I know? I don't know. Yeah, I feel like if you have any pocket dimension, you're conjuring it at some point. Hawks? I feel like Hawks would have to be enhancer slash manipulator, no? He's got the wings like that are enhancing like speed and everything. And he can like pluck them off, use them as swords, regen them, but then he can also manipulate each one by one to then manipulate others. Yeah, nose busted as fuck. But I feel like you had to use him as an example to show like the difference between him and the like lock-in ability that I see their faces that Gon and Killua had. But I feel like, imagine... I'm not even putting the Chapter 7 bankruptcy on... I'm not having Chameleon Boy run around with him. I'm putting him on Nove's back. We're creeping up behind every single guard, and I'm decapitating every single one of them. Story over. Moral's putting out the smoke. Nove's running around. Nove's got portals everywhere. He's popping up like fucking whack-a-mole. The smoke's everywhere. People going crazy. I'm popping up behind the royal guards, and I'm plucking heads off. Sounds easier than it does, but yeah. Yeah, it sucks that Moral and some of the others aren't on the ship. But, yeah. Yeah, I feel like some abilities that are too like, well, why don't they just do that and make it easy? Probably aren't that easy. But you see them use and you're like, why didn't we just do that? But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. We're at 2.5, getting 10:30 or so. We'll just go ahead and call it successful stream, in my opinion. We had 150 plus viewers. I think we were sitting at 16 to 20 the whole time. Not bad for a Friday. Yeah, we're gonna try not to overwork. I couldn't even stay awake for some of my most recent One Piece videos, and that hasn't happened to me in years. That back to like working in office and stuff, or having to go in and then come back from like a 9 to 10 hour shift and record. Couldn't even keep my eyes open to react to a 20-minute One Piece video. So I'm going to have to figure out how we want to react and what we want to do and all those type of things. But yeah, the Royal Guard's base is just busted. But again, I would like to see some of like the busted people against some of those guards. Because, like, of course, Miriam's, like, on a different level. What do you think's the end result of any of the other guards versus Netero one-on-one? Is he washing any of them one-on-one-on-one? Put a Ging there. Put a Beyond Netero. You know, what does that look like? I don't know. I'd like to think Netero over guards, Miriam over Netero. Maybe. Yeah, just trying to keep the content consistent for Patreon members. I know if I was paying for something, I'd want to make sure it was coming out consistently, so we're going to try to stay on it. Yeah, I think Netero beats all the guards 1v1. I don't think he takes all 3 at the same time. Maybe could do 2? No, that's probably pushing it. Not old man, at least, but yeah. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some news. Appreciate all y'all that were able to come out. Some of y'all been here for the long. I think a lot of y'all have been here for the long haul. Connoisseur, Keith, Jay, Jas Will. This is me, Slobber. Appreciate y'all. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it on up. Appreciate y'all coming out. If you were late to it, it should be uploaded. Now, I don't know if YouTube will actually let you listen to any of this because I'm playing the soundtrack in the back and they're probably going to mute the entire thing. So that's unfortunate if you're trying to watch this out after the fact. But we'll leave there and see. Appreciate everybody that came out. Good solid time. We got a good 2.5 hours in. It's still not even that late, so you guys could still get into some stuff later tonight. And we will go from there. Y'all know the upload schedule. Tomorrow, Patreon, y'all be getting JoJo's Part 3, Episode 10 or 11. YouTube, I don't think you're getting anything, but Yu Yu Hakusho will be up, and we'll go from there. Appreciate everybody coming out. Great time. We really did it. What a time. We got it done. Appreciate y'all. Jay, this is me, Keith, Slobber, Jace, Connoisseur, Keith, anybody that I missed. Appreciate everybody that came out. We'll go from there. If you're not subscribed, we're trying to hit that 10,000, 9,000. So appreciate that as well. Like, share, subscribe, and as always,